This one was anticipated. I talked about it last time on Box Office Buddies. You know how it works. Every time I'm here, seeing a movie with a new buddy. This time it's JB. He's back.
Not so new anymore.
We haven't done a review in a while, but I had told you, I said, I want you to do John Wick 3 with me, because we had seen 1 and 2 together in theaters, and it was a very exciting experience. Honestly, maybe the best action movies I've seen in the last 10 years. So I was pretty pumped for this one. And yes, John Wick is back. This is maybe going to be the best action movie of the year. I was really excited. I'm going to get into a lot of the things that excited me.
Really excited? Are you still really excited?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
We'll get into that. So I want to hear from you first. What were your thoughts? What's your reaction?
I'm glad the movie was made. It was good as an action flick. I'm definitely starting to see some problems, though. Definitely starting to see problems.
Okay.
It's starting to... what's the expression? Something to do with running on fumes or something like that. Mm-hmm. It's developing a kind of large mythos, a large mythology around it, and it's starting to become a legend, and it's starting to live off the juices of its own legend. It's not doing anything that unique anymore. And it's becoming self-aware to a point where the self-awareness is overriding the point of the scene. And so humor doesn't always land. The action doesn't always land. And even though I'm being very critical, it's still amazing. It's still very enjoyable. It's just that you're starting to see it go down that road. And it's worrying for future films in the series, as we now know there will be.
Yeah, actually, this is good because I think we feel the exact same way, which doesn't always happen, but we do feel the exact same way for this one. And I kind of want to touch on what you said. We'll start with the positive. Yes, it's a very good movie. I said might be the best action movie of the year, and I stand by that even after seeing it. Yeah. This will probably, by the end of the year, be the best action movie of the year. Every end of the year I do a top 5 of my of movies I saw. I think this will probably make it. Yeah. It's still that good. This is a great action movie.
It's so enjoyable. Every minute on watching that film is just pleasure. It's just that sometimes it doesn't land the way that it should.
Exactly. So we can look at the positives. The choreography is still very intricate, creative. I thought the action scenes, less so than before, but still really good.
The first 2 action scenes,
that's exactly how I felt.
Me so pumped for the rest of the film.
So this is how I felt about this movie. I was watching this, I was like, okay, 1 was amazing, 2 was still great. And I was thinking 3, how can it live up to my expectations and to the hype that's around it? And the first 2 action scenes,
close.
First 2 action scenes, I'm like, they did it.
Yeah.
They've done it. First time you see John Wick in action, he kills someone with a book, and then second action scene, that the knife that you're talking about, that right?
That was
amazing.
Awesome. Yeah.
Entertaining, funny, slick, creative, all around good. But then there it kind of went downhill.
Yeah, the scene
not
immediately
even plateau.
After that,
it actually went downhill.
Yeah, it went down, and then it kind of stayed there.
Yeah, exactly.
Downhill relative to what John Wick is, not what other action movies
exactly. Are. Like we're critiquing like Da Vinci. You know, like it's just
John Wick, Da Vinci.
Look.
I know. As far as action films go, it's as good as it
gets.
They are the
top
cream
of the line action movies, and I went and offended something deep down there.
Same thing with some of the characters.
Oh,
it deals so much with, and this is what I was trying to get at before. When it's starting to live off its own legend, the characters that are introduced are kind of like fan fiction characters where you're inserted into the world of John Wick instead of being their own characters. And this is true of Halle Berry's character. It's true of the Iron Chef character. And it's a bit bothersome. It's a bit annoying to see that. It breaks your suspension of disbelief. It keeps reminding you that you're watching a John Wick movie.
For me, the comedy, I bought into it. The characters, I do see a bit of a problem. Maybe not as much as you, but yeah, the whole Halle Berry thing. I'm so happy. I will say I'm so thankful she wasn't in it for the rest of the movie, because she shows up maybe an hour in, and I was like, don't tell me this is gonna be like them teaming up and like that's how the rest of the movie's gonna go, because I would have really disliked that.
Yeah.
She was kind of in it, went away, so I'll let it slide. But you're right, it wasn't great. But what really was monotonous to me, which is surprising, was the action. It was still very good, but it kind of did get repetitive and kind of doing fan service of what they had done in the first two.
Yes, that's what they're doing, and it's starting to become more and more unbelievable. Like you're starting to notice more and more stuff, except for those first two scenes, which are like action movie gold. Moments in the rest of the film.
Yeah, there are moments. There are.
But like that motorcycle scene.
That was boring.
Yeah.
Well, I won't say boring, because okay.
Oh, yeah, it's true. Yeah, boring. That's too strong a word to use. But it's not as intense. You don't feel it the way that you felt the first two action scenes or the other John Wick movies.
Yeah. That being said, I was still never bored. Yeah. I was actually invested in what happened the whole way through. Yeah. And the action was still like way better than the average movie. I would even say strong. If just comparatively to other movies, I would say the action scenes were strong.
Oh yeah.
But still captivating stuff. Yeah. And the story.
I was about to say I wasn't going to go at it from the angle of the story, but more from the angle of the character motivations, which is what kind of, I guess, drives the story. They're kind of weak. I mean, like John Wick, the decisions he makes and why he makes them don't seem very believable, and they seem to all happen in a moment's notice. Same with some of the other characters, and that's the stuff that moves the plot forward. The decisions that these characters make, you know, the ones that you trust, the ones that you can't trust, and things like that. It was just very kind of like eyebrow raising and not necessarily in a good way. And that's another thing that was disappointing. The end of 2, spoiler alert, excommunicado in an hour, and then he goes, tell them I'm going to kill them all, and then he runs away. In this movie, it's not really that.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I felt like this was it was still a very good one, but it was kind of a bridge movie, like an in-betweener between 2 and 4.
It feels a little bit like The Matrix Reloaded, and considering how not self-referential, how referential these films are in general, but specifically this one to The Matrix, I don't think that's an unfair comparison to make. It is like The Matrix Reloaded.
That one-liner got me, though. That was awesome.
Yeah, and it's more than just the one-liner, by the way. It's everywhere, but yeah, definitely. It references it all the time. A lot of the same characters from The Matrix show up. Not the same characters. A lot of the same actors show up.
Some of the actors I really did enjoy in this.
Not Halle Berry so much.
No, but like the Lawrence Fishburne character.
Oh, he's great.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He's another one.
He was
way better in this one, and he always shines.
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Ian McShane, who plays Winston.
Yep.
And the head of like the theater, the Belarusian woman.
Okay, yeah,
she was an interesting character.
Yeah.
Everyone else,
especially that villain.
But she was all right. Like, I hated her. Again, we're picking this apart, but see it. Like,
yes, I recommend. I highly recommend
John Wick. See John Wick 2 if you haven't yet. Like, see these movies and then see this one. See it in theaters. It's not every day that I'm in a movie and the audience is reacting as strongly, interacting even.
This is the first time in my life I've watched a movie, and after an action scene, the audience claps.
And what scene was it, right?
Yeah, no, it was in the first two scenes. But at the end of the scene, people just went, whoa!
Yeah.
It's a spectacle. And that's what it is about this movie that's so wonderful. I don't know how to describe it, but yes, it is that good.
Yeah. And I found myself laughing out loud in enjoyment. Not at it, not because it was trying to be funny, just in enjoyment. Like,
yes, it's
the book,
joy.
The book scene.
In particular, the book scene.
That's when you know, like, a movie's entertaining, is when you actually I often talk about that. Usually in a negative context, I'll say, "Oh yeah, this movie sat through it for 2 hours in a packed theater, no one laughed," or like. Mm-hmm. But this was the opposite. This had so much reaction, response. Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you like action movies, this is still one of the best of the last few years. So even as a standalone, I would say this was a very, very good movie.
Yeah. Should we start praising it now? Because we keep saying that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to.
The way that it keeps building the world.
Yeah. I love the mythos. I love the John Wick.
That's mythos. Something that they nail every time, is that they keep expanding and expanding that world, and it keeps getting weirder and more interesting.
They're special movies, and this one, yes, a little less than the other two, but still really good.
Yeah. John Wick, for some weird reason, and again, I'm being very critical, but for some weird reason, keeps succeeding at making sequels. Normally, I don't like sequels.
Right.
But I like all the sequels. I genuinely enjoyed this movie. I really don't want to give the wrong impression. I genuinely enjoyed it.
Yeah, it sounded super negative.
I know. I had to be. It's because it's so good, and I want it to stay good. I have to be. Oh wait, we're supposed to compare this to another movie, aren't we?
That is Marvel to Matrix.
I never think of the movie. I always forget about your rating system. So Marvel The Matrix, I give this The Matrix a really good version of The Matrix Reloaded.
Okay.
So Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions are decent. Again,
they're good
those
movies.
Were films that they were being compared to the first, and the first Matrix is kind of it's a work of art. 2 and 3 are,
exactly.
John Wick, it's a bit different. Every time they succeed at doing something interesting.
You know what? It's like Born Identity. It's really good. Born Identity, the first Born movie, very good, very, very good. Not perfect. I'm gonna say very good.
Much rather watch John Wick 3 than the Born Identity, though.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're wrong.
That's it.
Choose another movie.
I resign, guys. He'll take over.
I've done enough shows at this point, I think.
Let me know what you think. Was this on the same level as the other two, or better? Well, do you agree with us? Still really good, not quite as good. And like the video, share it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe, hit the bell, and yeah, we'll be seeing more of you.